Hey guys, welcome back to World of Tanks. My name is Bruce and today I want to give you a very good reason why you should participate in the ONSLAUGHT event in 2025. Let's go. ONSLAUGHT is a competitive game mode in World of Tanks, and by playing this event you can get access to the ONSLAUGHT shop. In this shop you then get access to styles and tanks depending on the rank you reached. In order to purchase this tank right here, you have to reach silver rank and then spend 16,000 bonds. However, every single bond is worth it. By the way, if you want to learn how to be successful in ONSLAUGHT and reach silver rank, check out this video right here. So let's now talk about the KPZ-50T. This is a German tier 9 medium reward tank. Now, what is so strong about this tank? Let's find out with a quick look at its statistics as well as its armor layout. So what is this tank all about? In order to find out, let's compare this tank to its brothers on tier 9, the Leopard PTA, the E50, the T54D, and then also to the AMX-30, because I consider this tank as being one of the best medium tanks overall in the game. Alright, so immediately we can see that this tank's DPM is, it's okay, but it's nothing out of the ordinary. All other tanks except for the T54D are better with this regard. Penetration value is excellent with 268mm of pen. Now alpha damage is lackluster, only 320. However, this also gives you a faster reload time, maybe apart from the AMX-30, so you might be able to keep other tanks tracked. Now gun handling wise, this gun handling is excellent. 1.92 seconds aim time, dispersion 0.32 is on the good side in this comparison. The problem of this tank, and something you need to be aware of, is the dispersion values while moving the tank and also during tank traverse and turret traverse. So those dispersion values are, well, they are better than compared to the Leopard PTA. However, they are not as good as on the E50 and also on the AMX-30. So this tank is not a snapshot tank, and in order to hit your shots, in order to consistently hit your shots I should say, you should try to fully aim in your gun before you shoot. This tank features 8 degrees of gun depression, which is nice and which allows it to work on a ridgeline. It has 60 kph top speed, which is nice and which is on the good side. Yes, not as fast as the Leopard PTA and also the MX-30, however, a pretty decent value. Plus, power to weight is of course on the lower side. However, keep in mind this tank actually features some nice armor, so we should compare to the E50 and the T54D instead of the Leopard PTA and the MX-30. So 18 power to weight ratio is much better than the T54D and even substantially better than the E50. Now, armor wise is where this tank really shines, and this tank has the best armor in this comparison, and we'll take a look at the armor profile in a second. And then take a look at the camo values of this tank. Not only do you have a fast medium tank with a precise gun, you also have a tank with decent armor, but then you also have a tank with decent camo value and with 400 meters of view range. So yes, you can play vision games with this tank. So overall, it's a well-rounded, nicely balanced tank, which is strong basically in every regard. So this is the armor profile of the KPZ-50T, and as you can see, the turret is pretty strong. Beyond 300mm of turret armor, at least at the sides. In the middle it is a bit weaker, down to 255, 260. However, this is not a big spot for others to hit. Now this tank does have a weak spot, which is this, what is it, a view range port, which is only 200mm. So if you're fighting very close to other tanks on a ridgeline, they will be able to shoot you right here. Now besides this, the turret is, as I said, very strong. Keep in mind that there's another I would say tiny weak spot just below the gun, which is only 251mm. Now the upper hull is pretty strong, from 280, 270 down to about 260. Of course, the lower hull is where the weak spot is located of this tank. Not only is it relatively weak with only 160, 165 millimeters of armor, it is also very huge. So you should not overpeak this tank, as you will get hit into your lower hull. However, if you use your 8 degrees of gun depression, look at what is happening to your tank. The turret is becoming insanely strong. You still have your weak spot right here, but other than that, the turret is super strong. Even this spot here is now effectively 280-290 millimeters of armor. Plus, your upper hull is super strong. Not only is it 360 and beyond, it also creates a nice ricochet angle. So playing this tank hull down is what you should do in this tank. Now, you can also side scrape with this tank. However, keep in mind that your upper portion is becoming weak, as you have this kind of pike nose design. I wouldn't consider this to be weak spot. I mean, keep in mind, this is a tier 9 tank. It can play against tier 7 tanks, and for tier 7 tanks, 270 millimeters is basically not penetrable at all. So yes, you can side scrape, but keep in mind, against heat of let's say top tier tanks, this is not an option. But overall, the armor of this tank is phenomenal and is really strong. Now, before we start with some gameplay, let me quickly show you how I play this tank. So my tank crew does have brothers in arms, then concealment, all the gun handling skills. The commander has recon as well as situational awareness, and of course intuition, and then safe stowage. I play this tank with coated optics with the mobility improvement system T3, because not only can I create a very decent gun handling with 1.85 seconds aim time and then 0.32 dispersion, but I can also increase my mobility with a power to weight ratio of 19.9 and a top speed of 65. And then I play this tank with a gun rammer in order to boost DPM, and without playing with consumables, or with premium consumables I should say, I managed to get a DPM of 2819. And now what I have is a secondary build if I want to spot. So in this case I use the vents, and then I use CVS in order to outspot adversary tanks, and then also coated optics. So those are my two builds that I use on the KPZ-50T. So first game in the KPZ-50T, we are spawning on steps in a top tier situation. But let's first of all take a look at the map and see what options we have. Spawning on steps in the north with the KPZ-50T, you have basically multiple options simply because of the flexibility of your tanks. You can brawl alongside your heavy tanks on this flank. You can even push right here if you have support, but you can also play on the other side of the map and simply go to this position, which would be the aggressive gameplay. I like to go to this position at the beginning of the game to see what is going on, and then eventually push forward into this position in order to win this flank. Yeah, so we want to play on the left hand side of this map, at least from our perspective, and the KPZ-50T offers an insanely good flexibility. This is why I like this tank so much. You can not only play spotting games as you are a decent spotter, you can also brawl even against heavy tanks with your turret armor. It's not, you know, unforgivable, but this tank's armor is pretty strong. And this combination of having a relatively fast tank, which is relatively strongly armored, which has a precise gun, and with which you can play vision games, just gives this tank an overall superb flexibility, which I really adore. Alright, so we do not want to play too aggressively right from the get-go, so I like to go to this position because I can spot tanks that are crossing towards the medium flank from the other side of the map, and so this gives me a first impression on how many of the adversary tanks actually play this position. Plus I can get some first shots onto those tanks. So first shots onto the standard B and also the VK100-01P. Let's see how it goes, and then further on we can decide whether we want to push this flank or not. And we can take a look at the adversary tanks that already have been spotted, and the further the game progresses, the more tanks will be spotted, and then we'll have a complete picture of all those tanks. So let's see. Nice, we can take out this tank. Excellent. And yeah, of course, The downside of this tank is its alpha damage of only 320. However, if you're in a top tier situation, this is not too much of a problem. So let's now advance, as the T-54D has already gone into this position. And you know what, we will try to peek out here and see whether we can spot other tanks. So let's see. We can use our good turret armor. Let's fall back and see whether we are spotted. No, we are not spotted. So yeah, looks like we do not get spotted. So you know what, let's continue to progress. Okay, here's a tank. Unfortunately, we bounced this shot, but you know what, let's go into this position. Here you go. I think we could have taken a shot onto this tank. However, he's now taken out. Excellent. And so now we can go into this position. We have to wait until we're not spotted anymore, approximately 10 seconds. And we want to be the tank which is spotting for our team. Notice how many tanks of our team are progressing alongside on this flank. And so we want to be the tank which is spotting. But of course, we do not want to expose our tank, so not to get taken out. Okay, the Scorpion is falling back. You know what, let's take a shot onto the other Scorpion, the tier 7 Scorpion. And can we get one more shot? Let's see. Yeah, and yeah, if we fully aim in, nice, we can hit this tank. The gun is very precise. Now, it's not the best snapshot gun, and maybe comparable to the Leopard PTA, a tank which also has a relatively precise gun, however, which is also not a snapshot king. That's just how it is. However, overall, the gun is really, really nice. So let's see. Let's fall back a little bit so that we are definitely not spotted if we take a shot onto the P43 tear. So let's see how it goes. So far, we're still full HP, which is nice, and we already made 1,300 damage. The game is on the winning side. However, sooner or later, we will have to advance. There's a T95, okay, holding up our advance. Let's see, maybe the P43 will peek out once again. And you know what? I think it is time to make more pressure. I think it's our task now, as being the top tier tank, which is still full HP, sorry, to make more pressure and to spot, or to not only to spot for our team, but also to kind of disturb the gameplay of those tanks, and so to, yeah, I don't know, lead the advance, because there's no sense in waiting on our flank and waiting until all our tanks will get taken out. So this tank has been spotted. Let's, okay, bounce this shot. As you can see, this tank is not a snapshot tank. Maybe another downside of this tank. However, you cannot have it all, right? So let's see how it goes. This tank might eventually retreat. And so let me see if I can spot one or another tank on the other side. So if not, then I can turn around and maybe fight against the P43 tear and also the T95. Let's see. I need to wait until the T43-3 is gone, however, so that he cannot take shots into my rear. T26E4 is making pressure. Excellent. That's exactly what I want to see. And now I can refocus onto those tanks right here. And I want to use the rocks so that I don't get shots from the... Okay, here you go. There's the Leopard PTA. So that I do not get a shot from the Scorpion, which is hiding on the typical TD position in this position. Let's take another shot. I bounce on the turret. Okay, that was super unfortunate. Maybe another blind shot. Nice, he bounces on my turret. Nice, because I do have the better turret armor compared to the Leopard PTA. And now maybe we can take him out. He's not even falling back. Nice, so we can take him out. Excellent. And so overall we could increase our result to 3.2k, and now we can take clear shots onto the side of the T95. Excellent. He cannot turn around simply because he has to face our tanks. Let's see here now. Okay, at least the critical damage. Okay, maybe we can now take out this tank. Here you go, and nice, we can take him out. And so there's only now the T95 in this position. Okay, maybe here you go. Okay, Standard B is trying to peek out. Now, this is the great benefit of this tank. It's superb frontal armor, which lets you work on a ridgeline like almost no other tank, at least no other tank which is as flexible and as mobile as this tank. So yeah, I have to say I really adore the KPZ-50T. Another 307 damage, and now we should be able to take out the T-95. Here you go. Of course, the good side of the low alpha damage is its faster reload time, which lets you track adversary tanks. And yeah, this can be another advantage of this tank. Okay, can we take a shot onto other tanks? No. So let's see. We should try to advance. However, I'm afraid of one or another tank in this position. Okay, I'm not spotted. So, you know what? Let's hurry up and let's try to close in order to make damage. We still have 1,300 damage to trade, and we should do that now as the time has come. So let me see. Yeah, let's continue to advance. Yeah, we're spotted now. Yeah, so let's go the long way around. But I should be able to play hull down against the standard B. Here you go. That's what I want to see. So Hellcat, nice. One more shot into this tank. And then maybe if he falls back, I can take a shot onto the standard B. Here you go. Nice. That's what I want to see. Nice. So maybe I can take him out, and even the T-30 is falling back. But first of all, let's take a shot onto the Super Hellcat. Nice. Left, right, center here. This tank is taken out. Excellent. And so, yeah, it's just this insane flexibility. It's the mobility of this tank, which is great. Okay, bounce this shot. It is the hull armor, which is insane. It's the view range, which is even insane. So, which also gives you the ability to play vision games. The camo value is also not too bad. So, overall, as I said multiple times now, an overall decent flexibility of this tank. Let's fall back here so that he cannot get a shot onto us. He's not focusing us. Nice. So we can once again keep attacking this tank. And I want to be the tank who makes damage. So let's advance. Go. Nice. Okay, we take a shot, which is fine, because overall we still have enough HP to trade. He's now focused onto the SHBDK, and we can take another shot. Excellent. All right, so let's now proceed to the AMX M449. We made 6k damage combined, and maybe we can even take another shot onto this tank. Keep in mind the Panther is only a tier 7 tank, which will maybe not be able to penetrate the AMX M4. The SHBDK is down to being one-shottable, so we can aggressively push in because we can easily take 2 more shots of this tank. And so let's simply rush in. Most likely he will be engaged in a fight with the Panther, which is able to make damage. Okay, and so let's now get maybe one more shot. Here you go. Nice. Another shot. And can we get the kill shot? No, we cannot. But you know what? Overall, a very decent result in the KPZ-50T. 5.2k damage and 1.3k assisting damage. Alright, second game in the KPZ-50T. This time we are spawning on Ghost Town, once again in a top tier scenario, actually the mid tier scenario. But let's first of all take a look at the map and see what options we have. Spawning on Ghost Town in the south with the KPZ-50T. This is how the game usually develops. In my opinion, I want to play on the left hand side of the map, simply because this right here is an open field which where you can get taken out pretty quickly in the game. If there's a lighting here, you can get crossfire onto this cross right here, but you can also play hull down in this position and then maybe spot those things, or keep advancing like this to this position and then make pressure over this flank in order to capture the enemy base. Alright, so with a medium tank in general, but especially with a tank which has this strong frontal armor, I want to play on the left hand side. Now I do not see the point in playing on the 9 and 0 lane, simply because once you get spotted, you are in trouble. Either you will get taken out instantaneously, or if you can hide, you are then trapped basically, because there's only an open field that you need to cross if you want to advance or if you want to retreat. And so yeah, my preferred option is to play on this side of the map. And now let's first of all aim in the cross over there. I need to fully aim in my gun in order to make the shot. Here you go. First damage is Already made. Maybe another shot. Nice. Another damage onto the Tiger 2. Excellent. So this is what you can always do on this map. You should aim in the crossing of the heavy tanks, but you need a spotter in the G3 position where the Batchat 12T is spotting. Our ELC Even 90 is doing a great job of spotting the other side, so once those tanks advance, then we will get a shot onto them. Meanwhile, we can take a shot onto the AE phase 1. Nice. And let's fall back. He's set on fire. Nice. And let's take another shot onto him. Nice. Yeah, so as I said, the gun is really, really nice on this tank. He's even taken out. Excellent. And so maybe we can take a shot onto the defender. No. Of course, the penetration value of this tank is also phenomenal, so you do not have to shoot too much premium ammunition, which is another advantage of this tank. Yeah, this tank is simply full of advantages. Maybe the biggest downside is the low trading potential if you trade 1 for 1. But that's basically about it. So in my opinion, you should really get this tank if you play Onslaught. And it's, in my opinion, the first tank that you should get. Of course, the Concept 1B is also a phenomenal tank. However, the overall more flexible tank is certainly the KPZ-50T. ELC Even 90 is making pressure, so we want to also make pressure and proceed into the middle. Can we take a shot onto the defender? Of course we can. Slight high roll here. And let's see how the game is going. And you know what? I want to go to this bush here, which gives me a good option of, number 1, having some camo. Number 2, falling back if the necessity arises. So let us see. Here go. Nice. We want to farm this tank. Let's lead our shot. And now we can take a shot onto the Lorraine 40T. So here you go. Next shot. Nice. And we already made 2.9k damage in a game which is only 4 minutes old. Let's see. No, we cannot take a shot on him, so let's advance. ELC is doing a great job of aggressively spotting all those tanks, and now we want to use our vision circles in order to put ourselves into a position where we can take shots onto those tanks, but where we do not get spotted. So let's try to put the white ring onto this tank, and now if we stay behind this bush, we should take a shot onto this tank and we shouldn't even be spotted. Here you go. And can we take him out? Nice. Excellent. Alright, so let's continue and let's now hurry up. The game is already won, so now it's the time where we have to hurry up in order to make as much damage as we can. Another shot onto the German medium tank, the KPZ-07RH. He's taken out. Excellent. And once again, we now have to hurry up. I think we're in a decent position against the IS-3. We should be easily be able to pen the hull of the IS-3. This tank only has a strong turret, and of course the Nomad has no armor whatsoever, so we can easily brawl also against this tank. And yeah, having a good hull down fighter is a strength of its own. There's almost no map which would not let you play hull down in World of Tanks. So let's take out this tank. No, you know what? Here you go. Let's take out this tank and let's secure the kill shot. And now we can focus onto the IS-3. Here you go. LT-432 bounces, and we simply want to make more damage. Here you go, and bam, another shot. Nice, and I think he is in deep trouble. Okay, he's taken out, and overall, yeah, another decent result with 4.9k damage and 5.4k combined. Okay, third and last game in the KPZ-50T, and let's first of all take a look at the map and see what options we have. Spawning on Kelia in the northeast with the KPZ-50T, once again you have multiple options simply because the tank is so flexible. You can go to the north and play hull down in this position. However, in my opinion, the most important position is in the south. So depending on the matchmaking, you should try to assist your heavy tanks in order to win this portion of the map and either proceed to a more defensive position, either here or maybe here, or go down here, or play aggressively and try to capture the hill right from the get-go. Alright, so in this case, as we are in a mid-tier scenario and as we're playing on Kelia, where basically the southern hill is the strategic position, I want to use my superior armor in order to brawl against the heavy tanks. And I want to show you that with the KPZ-50T, this is actually possible. So let's see how it goes. Let's go down to the south. And one thing I should mention, of course, you should only do this if you are playing in a match without any artillery. Because if you do this with artillery in the game, then RT is simply going to focus you and you are taken out sooner than you might think. Alright, so let's play hull down here. Now the problem is that they are looking onto my tank from above, so they can actually pen my upper hull. So let's go back behind this rock. The good thing is that we could reduce the amount of HP of those tanks pushing the hill, and so our object 2684 and the WoT 65 should be able to now clear the hill, which is good. We are now changing to our heat ammunition simply because we are facing heavily armored heavy tanks, and of course the CS-52 Liz. Nice first shot onto this tank. And yeah, let's now see how it goes. So I want to move out of cover so that I can take a shot onto those tanks, but I also want to spot those tanks right here. So let's see. Nice, I spot those tanks, and let's fall back. Of course, if they load premium ammunition, there is the chance of penning my turret. However, it's not an easy pen. However, if I shoot premium ammunition, I will be able to penetrate the lower hull of the T110E3. So let's see. He bounces his shot. Nice. And I can even take my third shot onto him. Chimera is making critical damage, which I can repair, of course. Nice. Okay, I bounced the shot. Nice. That was a bit lucky. And let's see what we can do. They are now falling back, which is good. Now we have actually won the hill. However, those tanks have also been taken out, most likely from the middle. Our team is now winning the northern portion of the map, which is good. So now we can simply hold our position and play a bit less aggressively because, yeah, our team is winning the other side. Now, take a look at how much damage we have already bounced in this shot, and that's damage against tier 10 heavy tanks and TDs. So I call this armor really, really strong. It's like it can be penetrated, but it's not a 100% pen even for tanks like the T110E3. So the armor is really, really good on this tank, and I cannot stress that enough. You should not move out in the open and expect to bounce every shot. But if you use your tank wisely, then the armor can really hold up a lot of shots and can really yeah, allow you to play aggressively. And that's the overall strength of this tank. Alright, let's see if we can get another shot onto those tanks right here. If we fully aim in our gun. Okay, this is what I call RNG. Nice. CS-52 Liz is taken out. Excellent. And so now we want to advance. Yeah. Okay. We do not pen and hit the shot that we where we were fully aimed in. But of course we hit this snapshot. That's RNG in World of Tanks. Okay. Ammo rack is taken out. We can take out this tank. Okay. Perfect. And now we still have the KPZ 7, which we can farm, and maybe lower hull. Okay, nice. He's taken out. Excellent. So yeah, overall 3.1k damage, 3k damage bounced with our turret armor, and 900 assisting damage. Excellent so far in the KPZ-50T. And as you saw, this tank is super flexible. You can not only play this tank as you know, typical medium tank like the Leopard PTA, but you can also brawl against, even against heavy tanks and tank destroyers in this tanks, which makes this tank super flexible. And once again, it's my #1 recommendation if you play Onslaught, to go to the bond shop, and then not the bond shop but the Onslaught shop, and to purchase this tank. I think it is worth all the bonds that you have to spend for this tank. So looks like we will not get any more damage. Let's see. Maybe onto the UDES 03. However, this tank is not, it's very lightly armored, so would get taken out instantaneously. But overall, here you go. We can actually get the kill shot onto this tank. Excellent. So nice. And overall, I think we will not get any more shots onto this tank, which is correct. And overall, pretty decent results. So yeah, my recommendation is this tank, as in my opinion, it is the best one that you can get during for playing the Onslaught event. Alright guys, that was it for today with the video about the KPZ-50T and why you should participate in the Onslaught event. What do you think about this tank? Do you like it? Do you think it is overpowered? What is your experience playing against it? Just leave a comment in the comment section down below. And as always, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. This really helps out with the YouTube algorithm. If you find this video extremely helpful, then feel free to support me via Super Thanks. This way you can make a one-time donation. You just have to click this button underneath the video. If you adore this channel and you want to consistently support me, then consider subscribing to my channel or become a member, once again with the click of a button underneath the video. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you next time in another World of Tanks video.